Alright, so I'm going to start the show. Hey YouTube, this is pecktec and welcome to another My Aquarium Box opening. Now, I do traditionally, I like to open every My Aquarium Box with a new implement of destruction, but I could not find the knife that I really wanted to use. But I've got this badass comb. This is made of metal and is very sharp, so we're going to open the box with it. I don't know why. Don't know why I like to do it that way, but I can't open my box with the same thing every time. I want something new each time. Something new and sharp. You could kill somebody. You could like do your hair and then like ninja chop somebody. That's pretty cool. All right. So let's get into the box. What we got? Okie dokie. How's this look? Look at this. Alright. And yes, for my table I am using the stand that was for the 30-gallon. It actually makes a great little table. And I'm downstairs. I'm downstairs because it's a little closer to my router. I'm trying out some new network gear that hopefully will give me a stronger signal and be a wee bit cheaper than using my cell phone. Okay, so here we go. We have the scorecard, which is incredibly bright right now. And the total value of this month is $42.94. I've got a couple of mega box winners, probably freshwater, saltwater. If you make a video, if you're interested in one of these, you get a box, you do an unboxing. It doesn't have to be weird and elaborate like some of mine are, but you just do an unboxing, you talk about what you like about the box, and you could enter to win a mega box. I've won one before. Big, huge filter is really cool, and what an easy way to earn a cool extra prize. You know, making videos, it's not that bad. All right, so you can also win a free box by liking them on Facebook. Be sure to do that. The Small Business Spotlight is Disco B. Disco B is a premium shrimp company focused on selling only the highest quality shrimp products. Very cool. It's got a coupon code for 15% off on your order. Usually whoever the My Business Spotlight sometimes throw in a little bit of a discount for you. And then on the back are all the sponsors, and there are a lot of sponsors. All right, that didn't look too bad. Okay, so on top here we have our new online store. Okay, so My Aquarium Box, when it started, was just these boxes, and they had the freshwater and the saltwater box, and now they have this whole range of products. I mean, they sent me the rocks and wood the rocks especially that I used for the steampunk aquarium all came from a My Aquarium Box of dragonstone, but they also have a couple of different kinds of stones, and it's really cool. Looks like I'm trying to look and see what we got here. It's like they got almond leaves, or yeah, I think that's almond leaves. They got the little sprayer pumps, which is real super handy. Oh, they've got the root tabs that I've used before. Can't tell, that kind of looks like carbon. I'm not reading anything, but yeah, they got a little advertisement for that, just to let you know about their other products. We got a thing from Universal Rocks, and this has a promo code on the back. To get the special, simply mention promo code. I'm not going to say it. You have to buy one if you want it. Alright, so, oh, I want to mention up front too, I have no affiliation with My Aquarium Box other than the people running it are friends of mine. And one of those guys has a birthday today, so I want everybody to go find Mike from Mass Aquariums, whatever his last video was, go say happy birthday. Okay, and give him a sub too, he's a good guy. So Mike from Mass, today's his birthday. Happy freaking birthday, you damn Yankee. Alright, so into the box. Right on top here, we have some filter material. And this stuff is really cool. You can buy this at the store in these huge rolls. And when I had that 30-gallon, if you saw the video with me taking it down or some other video with it, it's had this kind of weird on top of the aquarium filter, and I stopped using the pads that came with that a long time ago and just started cutting stuff like this and kind of making my own little pads for it. So this is super handy. This would be the kind of thing I was talking to someone about making DIY pads and stuff for their whisper filter that they have coming in the mail. This is the kind of stuff you could do it with. All right, so that's cool. And what do we have here? I want it. Okay. And here we have a jar, and it says right here, this is for urine samples for horses. So if you've got a horse and you need to take a urine sample to the doctor, that's what it's for. Now on here, I looked it up to make sure what. On here it says it's a reusable fish food jar. Now one thing that does happen, maybe you open some food, especially the huge bits of bulk food, and once you open it, you're kind of like the clock's ticking on the freshness of that. You could probably keep that going for a little while with this. All right, and what else do we have? Ooh, here's a little ornament, and this is a Universal Rocks. We got a little fake plant, and it's on this kind of weighted down, I'm not sure what this material is made of. It feels almost like plastic, but it's heavy. And yeah. Now, of course, I mostly have real plants in all my aquariums, but when you have a quarantine tank or something like that, it is real handy to have little plastic plants like this, especially ones that have the base that's already done and stuff. So it's really super handy to have plastic plants for those quarantine tanks, because if you need to throw medication in or something like that, it's just going to kill any real plants that you got in there. It's really a good idea not to try to make a planted tank into a quarantine tank for that reason. And so but you still want a place for like your fish to hide and feel comfortable and stuff like that. So yeah, you got something like that. So they do have a practical purpose in my life. I mostly prefer real plants, of course, but for my quarantine tank, and more, like the more I do YouTube and stuff, and the more like really the pro guys that I've met, or people like Rachel O'Leary and all these people that really know what they're doing, have made me feel too guilty not to use quarantine anymore. Plus, I've lost a lot of fish not doing quarantine, so quarantine tank's definitely something to consider. What is this? Export Bio Cubes. And this is from Brightwell Aquatics. They make Chemi Pure Blue and Chemi Pure Green and a whole bunch of other. Is that right? They make the Chemi Pure stuff, right? I can't remember now. But yeah, that's a cool company. And what this is it looks like biological material, very, very porous. It look like tiny asteroids. So if you play any like board games that are based around space, you can mount these on little sticks, paint them black, and you've got asteroids. Now, this is filter material, obviously biological material. Add this to a little bag, put it in your tank. Now, a lot of people, myself included, for a long time thought that biological material was like the stuff you never replace. And for a long time I thought, oh, you just always keep it in there. But the fact is, eventually it kind of gets clogged. So it's not a bad idea to occasionally swap out a little bit more biological material into your tank. You take a little bit of it out, put a little bit in, let it seed up, and then over the course of time take a little bit more out, put a little bit more in. But you don't have to do it very often. Not very often at all. And what else we got here? Oh, we got a sample. And what is it? SL Aqua. Ooh, this looks like shrimp food. It is. Shrimp food. I'm going to look at the back here. Provides a rich source of protein and nutritive components. Raw soybeans. Interesting. Very neat. Well, I'll certainly try it. I've got a bunch of shrimp in here. They might dig it. All right. What else do we have? This is from Fluval. Okay, so on their YouTube channel, the guy says Fluval. And I've always said Fluval. In fact, until I started watching their YouTube channel, I had no idea anybody pronounced it that way. So, am I right? Is it Fluval or is it Fluval? I'll just let you guys vote. And whatever you pick, that's what I'll call it from now on. Okay, right here we have an LED lens cleaner, okay? And what this is an acrylic cleaner that's safe to use around your tank, and it's to clean off those lights. So all these LED lights have an acrylic panel. It's kind of a way to keep the light from getting moisture to it, right? So you can use this to wipe that down. What'll happen is the evaporated water and things like that, they sort of build up this calcium scum layer on top of the lights, and it kind of dims the light. But you can use this to clean it, or water. All right. And we've got some, what do they call them? Spirulina wafer discs from Agcor. All right. Some sinking wafers for those bottom feeding fish. And that is the bottom of the box, which means we're time to move on. All right. People in Tennessee say they're... Somebody just made a comment about Tennessee. Okay. Okay. Woo! 115 watts. KG cichlids. So KG, are you at all affiliated with KG Tropicals? I've been curious about that. I've seen your comments and stuff before. It's like, wow, does John have like a secret account that he uses? Could you be Secret John? Or are you just another, I mean, you might be like Kilgrave Germantown for all I know. Maybe that's your name. That's what I'm going to call you, Kilgrave Germantown Tropicals. All right, and the reason I mentioned John, now, John from KG Tropicals, I don't know, very likely, oh my gosh, got a super chat from It's Not Butter, oh my god. Love the streams, I would love to be a mod, by the way. Okay, let's do it. My super chatters get like all the perks. Okay. And a lot of these questions flash through the super chat ones. I will read every single one unless it says something really nasty about me. That would be bad. I'd be conflicted. My love for money versus, you know, my love for integrity. All right, so anyway, back to what I was saying. KG Tropicals, and I met a couple of years ago when I first went to the Chicago Aquatic Experience, okay? And around that time, he was looking at maybe starting to plant a tank, and he said, hey, if I ever start to plant a tank, would you send me some plants? And I said, sure, but things happen, and we just never got around to doing it. So this last time that I pulled plants, I just happened to catch his live stream, and he said, man, I would really like to get some, I'd really like to get some aquarium plants. And he's going to start, you know, planting his big tank, and I just happen to have this kind of bucket full of dwarf sage. So I'm going to wrap this up, and we're going to send it to him. And I'm doing this, I'm doing this both because I like John, and because I promised to do it like a long time ago. So if you guys were wanting plants and stuff like that, I'm really sorry. Like, this isn't a plant giveaway or anything like that. But let's say that you've got a lot of plants in your tank, and you've got a buddy, and you want to send it to him. I'm going to show you how I do it. It's not necessarily like, I'm pretty sure it's the right way to do it because it's the way I receive plants all the time. But especially with these, this is a really easy way to send it. And I'm going to show you what I do. Now, what you're going to need is, of course, a plastic bag. This is a gallon plastic bag. Your plants and some moisture. And some paper towels. Now, the first time I received plants this way, I was shocked. I was like, oh man, I just expected them to come like fish do, submerged in water. And occasionally, people do send them that way. But this also works super, super well. What I'm going to do is tilt this down a little bit so you guys can see. Got that way Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this a little bit wet. Okay, that's a lot wet. I'm going to get this a whole lot wet. We'll just kind of do this. We'll go ahead and get this one damp. So I don't want it to be like, yeah, there we go. So it's kind of wet, but not super wet. And I'm going to go through this. I'm going to trim off any like broken pieces. And I'm going to stick them on the towel. I'm also on the lookout for any snails that are trying to tag along. I won't be able to catch them all. There'll be snails. That's kind of a thing with planted tanks. There will be snails. Any dead parts, anything like that, anything that looks a little off, go ahead and trim this out. I'll add them in here. I'm not sure when John's planning on starting to plant a tank, but this is a really good beginner plant. And he, from what he said, he is a beginner. So, yeah, if you've never had this, you can carpet with it, but in mine they tend to get real bushy. They're real bushy little plants. Now, if you've got a big aquarium, in scale, it would probably look neat. And I think he's got a really tall, really big aquarium that's put in, I think it was 200 gallons or something like that. Can't even imagine. I can't imagine what a tank like that would be here in my house, because I just don't dedicate that much room to my aquariums. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit more on here. I'm sending them a lot of this too. I mean, this is going to be a big bundle of plants. Any of you that are in Knoxville too, now I've mentioned this before, and a couple of people did reach out to me last time. I need to write them back, write a couple of you back, let you know I've got some more plants. But any of you that are in Knoxville, of course, find me on Facebook, because I'm more than happy. Trains going by. I'm more than happy to share plants. I don't like to mail plants all the time, but I do love to share plants with fishy friends. And I don't have like a ton of fishy pals here in town that I see on any regular basis. Now, what I do, like, I don't want to pile this up too much. I've got a little bit more room, but I'm going to stick these on here, maybe one more. Some of these are really tall. This is one of those plants that changes depending on what aquarium you do, and this is how they propagate. Hopefully you guys can see. They're called runners. So they'll send out another little growth, and then on that grows another plant. Now, of course, right now I don't need that. You don't need to keep them attached once they get to, a really good size like this. And for you guys watching in a rerun, I'll include the scientific name for this in the description if you're interested. But look, some of them just got really tall, really tall and long, and some of them stayed really short. And this is supposed to be a dwarf variety, but I don't know. I was kind of surprised. That surprised me. All right, so once we get a pretty decent selection of plants, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another napkin over the top, another paper towel. We're going to gently kind of wrap it like that, like a burrito. And we're going to stick it in here. Now, inside of this plastic bag, the moisture should keep these plants intact, especially for a few days during the summer. They'll keep these plants doing just fine on their way to John up north. All right, and we're gonna do a little bit more. I want to get a bigger piece. There we go. And get some moisture on here. All right. Stick that like that. And yeah, this is the way I ship them. I don't ship them, if you ship them with water, of course you've got, it's not too good. Maybe just take all this off. If you ship them in water, you take the chance of like the bag leaking, which is bad news, you know. Mailmen hate that. Postal carriers hate that. And yeah, it's just more difficult. It's more difficult on the other end when he's unwrapping this, and it's more difficult to send it. It's heavier, so it's not as good a deal on the shipping. All right, I'll place this here. I'm almost done, guys, and I'll answer some questions and we can talk. Ooh, there's some baby tears in there too. I'll throw that in. He won't know what it is, unless he's watching. I haven't seen him. Alright, so, and we'll put some more there. Woo! Alright. And I'm just going to put all these in. These last ones look like in really good shape too. The light, if you're curious, I can't say enough about the Cree LED lights that I get from Rapid LED. Again, not a sponsor. They grow plants better than any of the other LEDs I've ever had. It's really incredible growth. The only thing I did wrong with my 12-gallon tank is I put those damn LEDs. I put lenses on them and stuff, and they're only in the front. Like it doesn't. I didn't put a wide enough angle lens on it to spread out to the back. So not a lot of coverage. I really need to do something about that. All right, these have a little algae on them. I'm going to set those aside. Oh, almost done. Look at all these plants. I mean, this ton of plants. A ton. So he should have enough to do. And plus, these plants took a little bit of time to kind of get going. I'd say like maybe a month or two before these things really started to grow. But once they did, they just quickly took over. So in a larger aquarium, this could be a really nice carpeting plant. Now in a smaller aquarium, it could be nice too. But I like to, when I think of a carpeting plant, I tend to think of something a little bit shallower. And of course, all my aquariums are so tiny that just in scale, you know, plants like this, even plants like this, become these huge things. The tree that I made last week is looking good now that the tank is sort of cleared up and stuff. But what I'm discovering is that, man, I wish I had Monte Carlo all over the bottom. So I might take the rest of this stuff out of that tank and put it in a different aquarium and add Monte Carlo into the bottom. Because I think that would look neater with my little tree. All right, and that is all the plants. I'll throw the crap part. The pull-aways over here. We'll wrap this up for John, Mr. KG Tropicals. He does a lot of live streams. Like I think most of his videos lately have been live streams, and it kind of inspired me to try doing live streams again. All right. It's like, you know, because I tried live streams when they were kind of new, and then I just didn't touch it for a long time. I really like to edit video. Like, I love to edit video, so doing a live stream just seemed like heresy at first, but I got over that. And now I've got water everywhere. Now I'm doing it just as a way for we to hang out. Shave your head like John. No, I like having hair. I'm not convinced that he's shaving all that. All right. All right. Of course, the last thing to do is put it put it all in a box, and I just happen to have in a box, which I'm going to send, and that'll be on its way to John tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe you'll see it over on his channel if you want to check it out. All right. That's how I ship plants to a pal. Hey, Inquisitive Fish Guys in the house. Recycle it. Yes. Yeah. What's funny is if you guys look through some of my videos, if you look real close, occasionally I'll make a table out of my old My Aquarium boxes. I have a stack of like 5 or 6 of them, and I put them, I put them up, and I put my little wooden table on top of it. For a long time, that was my tables, My Aquarium Box tables. Now I'm going to answer some questions and talk to some people here that were nice enough to come out. Quadacy, hey, how you doing, Quadacy? Okay, so Inquisitive Fish Guy, is that a Kessel light? Yes. Yes, it is. What's funny is I did an unboxing for that, and it was like almost 2 years before I actually set up the aquarium that it was on. But I like it. I like it. It's a little loud. It's an older one. It's a little loud. I thought they were quite expensive. But it works well. Obviously, it grows plants. I added some CO2 in here too, and it grows plants. Anything new in the Fluval Flex? Nope. I'm letting it balance out. I'm not adding any more fish or anything like that. Desmovo, how's it going, man? So when can we expect the Lego tank? He's my friend from Twitter. We've been talking back and forth. I went over to his channel and looked, and I saw that you were doing some Lego stuff. I love Legos. I love Legos. There's a funny video of me running towards the Lego store in the Tale of Two Summers. A video from a couple of years ago. I don't know. A Lego tank is something I've definitely considered. You should check out my Aquarium Beautiful contest video from last year. Somebody did a whole tank with like Lego boats and people like in submarines and stuff. You'd love it, man. Do I still have this steampunk tank set up? Says KG Cichlids. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's upstairs. It's looking better than ever. And I just finished the article for the magazine that's coming out soon. As soon as that magazine comes out, I'll be sure to show you guys where to find it. So we did a whole article. I took some pictures of it and stuff. This is cool. Anything not new with the pond? Any pond fish ideas? You know, so far I've just done endlers. I want to do some, but I'm probably going to put white clouds in. Tons of people are like, hey, put white clouds in there and stuff. But we went through kind of a cold spot, and I was scared to do that, but I think I'll do that soon. How the pom-pom crabs doing? They're doing, one of them died, and the other one seems to be doing great. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm working on it. Inquisitive Fish Guy says, Inquisitive Fish Guy's got an article in that thing too, and what did you say it was on? You say it was overfiltration or something? Filtration, I think it was. So, yeah, we'll definitely be, he and I'm sure, will definitely be sharing that magazine around when it comes out. Any suggestions when you have more room for plants? When you have when you don't have room for plants, I suggest you wrap them in paper towels and send them to a friend of yours. Or if you are lucky enough to live in a place with a fish club, you can go trade them for stuff. Oh, man. Ta-da! So, also, some aquarium stores, now, it's kind of a weird, awkward thing. Like, my daughter works for my local fish store that I like to go to. So I don't want to seem like I'm taking advantage or anything by bringing plants in, and I don't want them to feel obligated to take anything that I bring over. So I don't bring my plants to the fish store, but you can take plants to a bunch of fish stores to trade in, and yeah, they'll do it. Oh, yeah, Quadacy, that's exactly right. You know, you can trade your plants to your local fish store for credit. If you're in a position where you can do that, that's a great way to earn some extra fish food money or fish money. Josh wants to send me some. You have water sprite or Rotilia if I want to trade. Come find me on Facebook if you haven't already, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about a trade. I wouldn't mind some water sprite. Valley says, that means it's bedtime in my house and the lights go out. Yeah, I keep mine on a little bit late because I'm kind of a night owl, but yeah, every time I do a live stream, that's the one thing I always forget to turn off the timer, so it'll just stay on. Braden, I'm having trouble reading your comment. Hey, what animals do you have? I have fish and I have a cat. I have a cat named Toby. He's a Maine Coon. KG cichlids. I came across a huge bush of Anubis and Nana Petite. They gave it to me for $5. Wow, that is a great deal. I too once got this huge bush of plant. Like the girl obviously didn't know how to separate out the plants and stuff. She goes, I guess this is one Java fern, and it was like a handful of Java fern. It was like 5 or 6 portions of Java fern, and she just stuffed it in the bag. And you know, I gave them the $5, went on my way, and I've still got those plants growing now, and that's been like probably at least 10 or 12 years ago. Have I ever kept dwarf puffers from Orion? Yes, I have. Now, I've always wanted to do like a whole tank of dwarf puffers, but that's kind of problematic. I think it'd be really neat to like do a super densely planted aquarium and just have lots of them and stuff. But I have had single ones a couple of times. In fact, one of my oldest videos is my dwarf puffer eating a snail, which I thought was just cool. Yes, and I had the dwarf puffer in the 5-gallon spec for a long, long time. And man, I miss that guy. But when he passed away, I didn't get another one because I kind of knew I was going to be taking that tank down. And I'd like to put one in that spec 2.6 gallon upstairs. That's probably bad. I mean, I know they're tiny and stuff, but really they should probably be in a 5-gallon tank. Just because of the way they eat and stuff, it's kind of messy. Plus there'll be snails all over that nice aquascape. So maybe I'll just keep that for shrimp. Ooh. I've had such good luck with young, uncaring, unknowing teenagers at Petco. Well, yeah, well that's Petco. I mean, and oh man, I don't mean to diss a whole like chain of stores, because in every store, like in my Petco, there's some really, really nice people in there. And I go to every store in town, not just my favorite local fish store, but like the local, if you're lucky enough to find a local family-owned fish store that's well-run and well-maintained, you're going to get like a whole different level of care and feeding as far as, you know, what they give you as far as information. And if you don't have that, if you've stuck with big box stores and stuff like that, go online. There's people all over the internet telling people about fish. There's more people on the internet talking about fish than I ever imagined there would be. Like when I started doing it, there's, I don't know, there's still probably a couple of thousand people doing it, but now it just seems like every day I'm meeting some new person that's talking about stuff online and not just in forums and stuff. Let's see. My Petco is pretty clean, says Inquisitive Fish Guy. Yeah, mine is too. I mean, I've got a pretty decent one. Well, actually, you know, I've got one on one side of town that's okay, but then the other side of town is a little like, you can tell when like, I guess management or whatever doesn't care about, you know, their fish as much. Orion, I've talked to Orion already. Well, I'll answer this. I'm currently setting up a heavily planted tank, and I'm getting some Asian stone catfish and dwarf puffers. Would you suggest placing some ghost shrimp or glass shrimp in there? With the puffers, yeah, the puffers might not attack or kill them at first, but at some point, I noticed even with my cherry red shrimp, which are small and are probably going to end up being food for a fish like that. I mean, even a tiny fish like that. They got along a little bit, like for a while, but eventually I could not keep them together because the dwarf puffer just attacks them. And he'll attack even a larger fish or something like that. So on shrimp, what's going to happen is they're going to go after a leg or something like that, and once they lose a leg, the there's a bigger chance of them getting sick or not being able to function correctly or something like that. And shrimp are very fragile compared to puffers, the dwarf puffers. So be careful with that. That's my advice. Be careful with that if you choose to do it. Catherine, I work at a pet shop and have many people coming to myself even though they think I'm young. Got to spread the responsibility of pet keeping. Very good. Yeah, my daughter's 17. When she was a kid, we used to play something called the fish game, and I would give her a nickel for every fish that she could name that was in my aquariums, and yeah, never got over $1, but you know, she did good though. She did good. Have I seen? Kimberly says, "Have I seen Finding Dory?" No, I haven't watched a Pixar movie since Up because I cried my frickin' eyes out, and I'm not going through that again. I don't need a roller coaster like that. Okay, I did see Toy Story 3 again. Just the roller coaster of emotions. I'm too emotional to watch Pixar films. It's sad and it's stupid, but it's true. So I can't watch any Pixar. No, they've ruined me. Okay. Floyd, I bought. Hey, Floyd. Let's see, Floyd. I recognize people's icons more than their names because I'm kind of picture oriented. I bought a little baby puffer once, and I had it in my tank for about half an hour before I had to fish him. Before I had to fish them and said hell no. So was he like chasing everything around, Floyd? They can be very aggressive. I think it'd probably be a good idea to keep them alone or in a species tank. Here's a name I can't pronounce. Hi, you're a fan. My name is Nagara. I hope I came close. Well, hello. You're obviously from someplace else. Where are you from? Hello from Chicago. Hey, hello, Jazz. Chicago Jazz. That sounds cool. Daniel Quinn. I'll have to watch that with her. Okay. Evan. Favorite nano fish. Right now, I love the little dwarf golden barbs that I did in the video with the pom-pom crabs and stuff. I love those little fish. Valley Fish, what is your next bucket list fish in your future? You know, one day I'm going to have an aquarium with very few decorations, and I'm going to try this bare bottom thing that I see people doing. So I want an Oscar, and that's kind of what I have in mind for that. Just a big aquarium with one big fish in it. But I really want, I think you pronounce them bikers. That's a big fish that you can keep in a planted tank. They're a huge fish. Now, I'm getting ready to take everything in this living room out. And we're going to redo the floor. That's coming real soon. And when I do, I'm going to put a huge aquarium on the wall over here to replace the 55. Maybe like a 210. Or I'm going to have to wait and see what I can get and fit in there. But when I do, I'd like to do a huge planted tank and maybe get some bikers. But I'm not sure. I've got a lot of tiny fish that I'm going to have to rehome. So at least in the short term, it might be a bunch of tiny fish. But I might have to change that up eventually. Hello from Mexico. Hello, Mexico. NCRVR666. Hello, oddly numbered devil from Mexico. Okay. Gavin, I'm thinking of getting those nano gold barbs. Any tip? They don't like particularly high flow. They seem to eat just about anything, but of course, you know, you need to give them good food and stuff like that. And let's see, I didn't have very many die off or anything, so they're pretty run-of-the-mill, kind of easy to keep fish. They don't have to have the water particularly warm, so you can almost kind of keep them at room temperature if it's like stays warm in your house. I'll probably add a heater or turn on the heater. I've got a heater in there. It's just turned off. I'll probably turn that heater on in the wintertime just to make sure it doesn't get too cold, but they can kind of live in and around the temperatures that we typically live in. All right. Floyd says, my bad fish. Oh, they attach your plecos, says Floyd. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with those little guys. Now, I love dwarf puffers. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram, I took a cool shot of a whole tank full of those puffers. Oh, and if you're anywhere near Knoxville, there's a huge sale going on this weekend. And that's this weekend's video, in case you're curious, is going to be the customer appreciation sale. It's that time again. I need, I'm not sure what I'm going to buy because I'm kind of like, I'm in breakdown mode for a bunch of aquariums. So I'm not sure if I'm going to actually get something, but man, I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to show you all the madness. They have some great sales. It's a great shop. Jesse Metal's back. I remember you from last time. You're answering somebody else. Braden. He has fish and a cat. Yes, I do. Okay. But does he have a turtle, Braden? I finally saw you. Okay. Do I have a turtle? No. My buddy does. It's only just become legal to have turtles. Like this year, it just became legal to keep turtles at home. And it's not legal to keep any native species from Tennessee in your aquarium. At least last I heard. But yeah. But my turtles had, or my buddies had turtles for years because we're like pirates and shit. All right. Have I ever owned a bumblebee? Yes, I have a bumblebee catfish right now. He's under a log and never comes out. He's really cool though. For the I think out of like the year or so that I've owned him, I've seen him for maybe, I'd say 40, 50 seconds maybe. Yeah, but he's really cool. I enjoy bringing him home. Jealous of my local fish store. Yeah, I mean, it is a really really cool fish store. D wants me to throw a dab. Okay. That's for you, D. And that's as close as I'm going to get. Okay. What's my opinion on goldfish? I think goldfish are really neat. It's kind of like one of those things I haven't done again because, you know, minimum tank size for a goldfish is like 20 gallons. And that's really pushing your luck. I mean, with a lot of water changes and stuff, you need a big tank to really keep them. I'd like to get like a proper size pond. Like I've got a little decorative garden pond in front, but maybe in back one day I'd love to dig. Like I'd love to dig a big pond and maybe try some goldfish. But the really fancy, the cool goldfish like orandas and stuff like that, I've never kept them. I've never kept them just because they're such big waste producers. They have real specific needs, and I've tended to be attracted to sort of the tropical schooling fish and stuff that won't get along with them too well. What's the biggest tank I'd be willing to do like Joey's big concrete 2,000 gallon aquarium, but I just don't have enough room. I mean, this house isn't small, but I don't have any one room that could support a really huge tank. Down here in the living room is my best bet, and once I get the floor done, hopefully whatever will fit. This tank's off now, so forgive me for showing you a dark tank, but I'm going to flip the camera around. Yeah, so if I remove this tank and I take it to like a bedroom or something like that, and this 55, then I've got this whole wall that I can fill up with a big aquarium, and that is what I'm looking to do. So, it's the biggest aquarium, I don't know, whatever I can fit in there and whatever I find at a good sale. I don't have a lot of sponsors, like some people are just lucky enough people send them stuff, or people send them a lot of stuff, and I do occasionally get a vendor to send me something. So what I'm going to try to do is work a deal with an aquarium company and see if I can get somebody to let me show their tank off or something like that. I thought about doing the same thing. Kerrigan has an interest in saltwater aquariums and wants to run one of those, and I told her, hey, tell Red Sea we'd be happy to show them off in a video. So I'm kind of working on that. H2O Plants, I'd sponsor you. Well, thank you, H2O Plants. I appreciate that. You know, there's been a lot of talk about what a lot of YouTubers call the adpocalypse, and which I firmly believe is for people that can't go like 3 sentences without saying the F word, or they're doing a stupid prank or that sort of thing. And you know, I'm not a huge channel. Like, I'm not a small channel, but I'm not a huge channel. I'm just kind of like in this weird middle zone, right? So I have not seen any problems. Like, my revenue stream, and it's only a very small, it's a modest revenue stream. Trust me, I could not live off this by any means, and it does not even cover what I spend to show you guys stuff, especially if you get into the equipment and all the other stuff. Anyway, I have not seen even the smallest bump from all that apocalypse stuff. I don't know. I keep it PG-13, you know. I occasionally slip up and I'll say something, especially on a live stream. But but yeah, you have to be advertiser friendly if you want ads. But these guys that have made their whole made YouTube their entire income and don't have like any other way to make money, and then they get on there and just start dropping F-bombs and doing all that stuff, man, I don't feel sorry for you. Tough titty. Okay, let's see what else we got. Dan's talking to someone else. Catherine, if things don't improve, Jazz, maybe worth removing him. Oh, okay. You guys are giving each other advice. That's cool, man. I like that. Okay. H2O plants. My revenue dropped 75%. Lucky it was crap to begin with. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. All right. Gosh, what are we at? We're about 10:02. It's been almost an hour. Still 85 or 84 of you still out there. Wow, that is so cool. I really have the best fans in the world. Now, if you didn't catch it before, this is Mike from Mass Aquarium's birthday. And what I want you to do is, when this is over in just a few minutes, I want you to go over to one of Mike's videos and wish him a happy birthday. Because Mike and Greg and the other Mike from Aaron's Aquariums, I think, are the only ones still in the My Aquarium Box company. Is that right? I don't want to get that wrong. Like, I've talked to Mike and Greg a lot. Mass Aquariums, Mike and Greg. I talk to them a lot. I don't talk to the other Mike a whole lot. Like, he's got more of a saltwater channel. I know he's got other tanks too, but I don't watch a lot of saltwater stuff just because I don't. But yeah, they're a great bunch of guys. Great bunch of guys. I've really got a lot out of the relationship as far as like talking about aquariums, talking about YouTube and that sort of thing, and hanging out and just chatting about stuff. Great guys. So, wish Mike a happy birthday. If it's your birthday, happy birthday as well. I don't know why I said that. Daniel Quinn, you do a good show. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. Gemini, how's the bog filter pond working out? You know, so far it's working out great. It's dark outside, or I'll take you out to show you. But yeah, it's working out great. I'm just starting to get that summer algae, and I'm gonna get out there and clean it up a little bit. But all the plants that I added in the bog filter are growing and seem to be doing really well. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, I think it's about time I wrap it up. Is that a spider on the lily pad? Huh? Anyway, so I'm going to wrap it up, but I guess I keep thinking there's a question here. Oh, hi, Aquatic Tanks. You're late because I'm about to end the show. I thought I'd give you a little call out there. All right, but thanks, guys. I really appreciate you coming in to watch. It's always good to have support from you guys. I mean, it's really incredible. I didn't think I would like live streams as much as I do, but I do like them, and I really appreciate you guys coming out again. Till next time, follow your bliss, keep a clean tank, mail some plants to a friend, and I'll see you next week. All right? Bye-bye.